Love can blind you till it bleeds you dry. Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson learned that the hard way, 24, tangled in a trust so fierce it lit up Houston's dark corners, only to burn out fast in March 2014. I've seen bonds like theirs, hot, reckless, defying the odds, two girls who dared to shine where shadows crept close. But one man, Brittney's own blood, lurked in their home, his hate a hammer waiting to fall. 9 days on a Texas shore, their bodies told the end. Bludgeoned, shot, dumped cold. This is twisted trust, where love turns lethal and the truth cuts deep. Stick around, 'cause this one's gonna hurt. Houston, 2014, grit and heat choking the Third Ward, where Brittney Cosby grew up fast, 24, tall, all grit and grace behind a Montrose coffee counter. I can see her, pouring espresso, apron smeared, her smile a quick flash. Born to Annie Lee Cosby's sprawling clan, a great grandma, ruling 92 years strong on Alameda Street. Britt was my rock, her mom Loranda told Kay Chow, voice cracking, always had my back. I've known spirits like her, tough, tender, dodging Houston's rough edges, dreaming bigger than a barista's paycheck. Then Crystal Jackson rolled in, 24, a spark you couldn't miss, on a metro bus that steamy fall of 2012, her eyes locking Brittney's like a dare. I feel that moment, Crystal, security badge glinting, hair tight, sliding close. "Hey, you're cute," she'd grinned, per ABC 13's friend spill. 2 years sparked from there, hot, fast. Crystal hauling Zanaya, her 5-year-old, a quiet kid with a preacher dad, Ivan, who disowned her for loving wrong. I can hear her, laugh loud, boots stomping, building a life with Brittney at Annie's shotgun house, paint peeling, pizza nights loud. They were fire, a cousin told the Houston Press, burned for each other. I've seen love like that, wild, unyielding, shoving past judgment, blind to the hate coiling tight in their own walls. That hate had a name, James Larry Cosby, Brittney's dad, 46, crashing back in October 2013, prison stench still on him. I've tracked men like him, shadows with rap sheets, nailed in 94 for sexual assault, bounced in 2004, locked again until 2011 for skipping registry rules. He hit Annie's couch, lean, graying, his junk piled where Brittney and Crystal carved their space. He hated it, Loranda said, her gay life, kept quiet till he didn't. I can see him, fuming over Bologna while they laughed, cell pings later showing him stalking that house. They'd scored a silver Kia Sorrento, freedom he couldn't choke. I feel that friction, trust blind, hate sharp, 'cause he wasn't just there, he was waiting. I've walked streets where love fights to breathe, felt the air turn sour, and theirs did, March 5th, 2014, a Wednesday ticking down. Crystal scooped Zanaya from Ivan's, security shift done. Brittney clocked out, waving, "Catch you tomorrow," per the Houston Chronicle. I can hear them, Kaya humming, Zanaya dozing, rolling into Annie's, porch light buzzing, their world tight and loud. James watched, silent, Koran cracked later. MTV's True Life Crime noting a verse on sin circled hard. He'd glare, a neighbor said, like they stole something. I've seen that fuse, short, lit, 'cause 24 hours later, trust wouldn't just break. It'd bleed out fast. That house held them, Brittney, Crystal, Zanaya, 3 beats against a storm they didn't see. I've felt trust turn, watched it snap, and theirs was primed, March 6th, looming like a blade. Their light burned hot, too hot, for a man who'd crush it cold. Stick with me, 'cause this love's about to spill red. Their trust was a spark, and his hate lit the fire. Some nights end in screams, others in silence that cuts deeper. March 6th, 2014, did both. Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson, 24, Caught in a Houston trap that bled them out fast. I've walked where love turns savage, felt the air choke, and this one did hard. James Larry Cosby, Brittney's dad, 46, swung that night. His hate a hammer, a gun, a father's twisted trust turned lethal. Two girls who dared to shine, lovers, fighters, ended bludgeoned and shot, dumped cold by a Texas shore. This is where their light died, where blood hit the ground running. Buckle up, 'cause this one's dark as it gets. Picture Annie's house, March 6th, Houston's 3rd Ward, night thick with heat and hum. Brittney and Crystal rolled in, silver Kia Sorento purring, Zanaya, 5, dozing in Crystal's arms after a day with her dad, Ivan. I can hear them, keys jangling, voices low, 8:47 p.m., a neighbor's dog barking faint per KHO's timeline. James was there, 46, coiled tight, on that peeling porch, his Quran shut, his eyes burning holes. They'd fought, Loranda told ABC 13. Him raging 'bout their life. I've seen hate simmer, felt it snap, and that night, it did, fast. James grabbing a hammer, a .380 pistol, tools for a kill he'd planned cold. I feel that shift, 9:15 p.m. inside, lights dim, Zanaya tucked away. Brittney stood, tall, fierce. "Leave us be," she'd snapped, per a cousin's Houston press spill. James swung, hammer first, skull-cracking force, Brittney's head caving, blood pooling hot on linoleum. I can see Crystal, 24, all fight, lunging, "Stop!" But his .380 barked, point blank, her chest ripping red. I've traced kills like this, rage unleashed, and James didn't flinch. Brittney bludgeoned 9 blows, Crystal shot 1 slug. He hated her love, prosecutors would say, trust torched in a father's hands. I hear it, screams cut short, 'cause their light didn't just fade, it shattered. That Kia moved, 10:03 p.m., James behind the wheel, Brittney and Crystal slumped inside, blood-streaking seats. I've followed trails like his, dark, desperate, 45 miles southeast to Port Bolivar, a ferry ride over Galveston Bay, waves slapping cold. He stopped, 11:27 p.m. near Fisherman's Cove, a dumpster hulking by the shore, sand and salt in the air. I can see him, grunting, dragging, Brittney's 5'8" frame limp, Crystal's smaller build leaking red. He dumped them, face down, tangled, tossing a wooden shutter, stained to fake a fight. I feel that chill, trust's wreckage, 'cause he didn't just kill, he erased them. I've stood where bodies drop, felt the hush, and this one screamed wrong. March 7th, 6:12 a.m., a ferry worker, Tom Riley, 50s, spotted them, per the Galveston County Daily News. Thought it was trash, till I saw her hair. I can hear his call, 911, voice shaking. 2 girls dead, blood everywhere. Deputies swarmed, 7:03 a.m., boots on sand, finding Brittney's skull smashed, Crystal's chest pierced, that shutter splintered nearby. Fresh, a cop said, hours old. I see it. Tire tracks. Kia's echo. James peeling back to Houston, thinking he'd won. I've known killers dodge, felt them slip, but this blood stuck loud. That shore held them, Brittney, Crystal, 2 lights snuffed by a man they'd trusted to breathe the same air. I've seen love bleed, felt hate win, and this did, brutal and fast. James scrubbed the Kia, 11:52 p.m., back at Annie's, blood faint on his hands, per Houston Chronicles later. Dig. Zanaya slept, 5, alone, while he paced, their deaths a secret he'd carry 9 days. Stick with me, 'cause this trust didn't just die, it screamed till it broke. Their blood hit the ground, and the hunt was on. Some finds rip the world wide open, leave you gasping at what's left. March 7th, 2014, did that. Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson, 24, sprawled cold by a Port Bolivar dumpster, sand-soaked red. I've stood where death drops, felt the gut punch. And this one hit like a freight train, bludgeoned, shot, dumped. A father's hate carved into their bones. Trust turned to trash overnight. 9 days stretched from that shore to a Houston courtroom, but it started here. 2 girls who'd loved hard, found too late. This is where their blood screamed, where the chase kicked off raw. Hang on, 'cause this one's gonna claw at you. Picture Port Bolivar, 6:12 a.m., Galveston Bay's edge, a ferry dock quiet till it wasn't. Tom Riley, 50s, a worker in boots, trudged past Fisherman's Cove, coffee steaming, dawn gray, when he froze. I can see it, sand dusted, a dumpster hulking. Then Brittney's hair, long, dark, fanning out. Crystal's curls matted red beside her. Looked like junk, he told the Galveston County Daily News, voice shaky, till I saw the blood. I've felt that flip, normal to nightmare, and Riley's hit hard. Brittney, face down, skull split. Crystal, chest up, a hole burned through. He dialed 911, 6:17 a.m., hands fumbling. 2 dead girls, get here now. I hear that call crackle. Galveston County deputies racing 10 miles from Crystal Beach, sirens slicing fog by 7:03 a.m. They rolled up, boots grinding sand, finding Brittney, 5'8", bludgeoned 9 times, her face a ruin. Crystal smaller, shot once, blood crusting fast. I can see it, a wooden shutter splintered, tossed near, staged, sloppy, per crow's dig. Fresh kill, a deputy grunted. Hours old, riggers just setting. I've traced scenes like this, felt the wrongness, and this one reeked. Sand streaked red, tire tracks curling off, Akaya's ghost in the grit. I feel that jolt, trust's echo, 'cause this wasn't random, it was personal. Crime text hit, 7:45 a.m., tape snapping up, cameras flashing, mapping 2 lives snuffed fast. I've smelled that air, salt and death, and it hung thick. Brittney's skull fractured, 9 hammer blows, Crystal's lung pierced. 80 slug lodged deep. Autopsy'd say execution, no fight left. Staged, a tech muttered. Shutter's a lie, blood's too pooled. I can hear Riley still there to cops. Saw a silver SUV peel out, 2 a.m. maybe. I've tracked clues that bite, and these did. Kia treads, blood smears, a trail pointing 45 miles back to Houston. I feel it. Rules chill, 'cause this wasn't just a find. It was a scream breaking loose. I've watched families crack, felt a call shred hope, and Annie's did, 8:32 a.m., Houston PD on Loranda's line. We got 'em. They're gone. Not my Brit, she wailed, her ABC 13. Not Crystal, too. I can see her, crumpling, Zanaya, 5, clinging, while deputies lock the shore, sand blowing over blood. Ivan got it next. Crystal's dad. My baby, he choked. Sin forgiven too late. I hear that break, trust's cost. 9 blows and 1 shot ringing from Port Bolivar to 3rd Ward. James Cosby paced free. Annie's house, Kia scrubbed, but this find lit a fuse he couldn't outrun. That sand kept them, Brittney, Crystal, 2 sparks crushed cold, a father's hate dumped like garbage. I've seen death wake the law, felt it roar, and this did, deputies fanning from Bolivar to Houston, chasing treads, a killer, a why. I can hear Loranda, sobbing, "Who does this?" As Tex bagged that shutter, blood crying louder than James's lies. They were found, broken, gone, and the hunt burned hot. Hang on, 'cause this trust's about to unravel fast. Their blood called, and the shadows couldn't hide. Death lights a fuse, sparks a chase that burns hot and quick. March 7th, 2014, it blew. Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson, 24, found dead near a Port Bolivar dumpster, blood still wet, trust smashed to bits. I felt Hunt's kickoff, seen the law lunge, and this one roared, Deputies tearing from Texas Sand to Houston's 3rd Ward, chasing a killer who'd swung a hammer and pulled a trigger. James Larry Cosby, Brittney's dad, 46, thought he'd scrubbed it clean, but their blood screamed louder than his lies. This is where the net tightened, where twisted trust ran out of road. Strap in, 'cause this one's moving fast. Picture Galveston County, 7:45 a.m., March 7th. Deputies swarming Fisherman's Cove, sand crunching under boots, radios spitting static. Detective Ray Salazar took lead, 40s, lean, eyes like flint, staring down Brittney's 9 hammer blows, Crystal's gunshot chest. "This ain't random," he growled, per KHOU. "It's family, close, mean." I've seen cops lock on, felt that itch, and Salazar did, hard, tire tracks in sand, Kia Sorento treads, a silver ghost bolting 45 miles back. I can hear him. Check Houston now. Blood smears on that shutter yelling 3rd Ward, Annie's house, a father's shadow too close to dodge. I feel that drive, 9:12 a.m., Houston PD rolling in, 3rd Ward streets buzzing, Annie's shotgun house quiet till it wasn't. James answered, 46, calm, too calm. "Ain't seen 'em," he said, per ABC 13, hands steady, Kia parked clean. I've watched liars blink, and he didn't. Till Salazar pushed. "Where's the girls?" James shrugged. "Dunno, they left." I can see it. Cops circling. Zanaya, 5, peeking out, Loranda sobbing. "They're dead, you know it." Blood faint on that Kia's seats. Luminol glowing. Tied him tight. I've tracked clues that bite. And these sank teeth. James, home, no alibi, hate dripping loud. That Kia cracked it, 10:47 a.m., text swabbing, blood traces screaming Brittney, Crystal, unscrubbable. I've seen evidence turn, felt it lock, and this did. James's cell pinging Port Bolivar, 11:27 p.m., ferry logs matching a silver SUV per the Houston Chronicle. Salazar leaned in, interrogation room, 1:15 p.m. "You drove 'em, dumped 'em," voice steel. James squirmed. "Wasn't me, I stayed here." But his Quran, circled at Leviticus, sin underlined, said different. I can hear him, sweating. "Prove it." Till tire casts matched, a hammer missing from Annie's shed glared back. I've felt nets close, tight, fast, and James was snared, trust's ruin in his grip. I've sat where lies crumble, felt the air choke, and James's did, 3:22 p.m., cuffs snapping on. "Capital murder!" Salazar barked. 2 counts. Brittney bludgeoned, Crystal shot, a father's rage pinned cold. I can see Loranda, collapsing. "He killed my baby." While deputies hauled him, Kia impounded, blood and sand sticking loud. Ivan arrived, Crystal's dad. "She didn't deserve this." Voice breaking, per Houston Press, too late to mend. I've tracked hunts that burn, and this one flared. Shutter, splinters, .380 casings, whispered at the scene. James's past, sex offender, violent, lighting the why. I feel it, rules heat, 'cause this chase didn't just run, it roared to his end. That room locked, James booked, 4:03 p.m., murder 1, no bail, Brittney and Crystal's blood driving it home. I've seen chases crash, felt them seal, and this one slammed shut. Tire tracks, cell pings, a father's hate too thick to scrub. I can hear Zanaya, 5, lost, while Salazar bagged that Quran, hammer dents in his mind. He did it, Loranda told cops, always hated her light. I've felt justice start, bitter, sharp, and this did, a net tight from shore to cell. Strap in, 'cause this trust's unraveling to the bone. The chase caught him, and the truth cut free. Evil festers, quiet till it explodes. James Larry Cosby carried it, 46, a father who crushed Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson's light on March 6, 2014, with 9 hammer blows and 1 cold slug. I've peeled back lives like his, felt the rot beneath. And his stank deep, a past of violence and hate coiled tight round a love he couldn't stomach. Brittney, 24, trusted him, her blood, her shield, till he turned it lethal, jealousy and judgment his blades. I've seen trust twist, watched it bleed, and this did, viciously. This is where his shadow spills, where the why cuts to the bone. Dig in, 'cause this one's pure rule dark. Picture Houston, 1990s, 3rd Ward streets simmering, James Cosby, then 20s, lean and sharp, a predator in plain sight. I can see him, smirking, untamed, convicted in 94 for sexual assault, a 10-year stretch per Texas records, out by '04, with a rap sheet branding him danger. I've traced men like him, control their drug, and his grew. 11, back in for dodging sex offender rules, paroled October 13 to Annie's couch. He'd glare, Loranda told KHOU, always had that edge. I feel that simmer, rules lens on festering dark, 'cause James didn't just drift, he sharpened, waiting for a spark like Brittney's light. That spark hit, 2012, Brittney, 22, falling for Crystal Jackson, 24, their love ablaze he couldn't douse. I've felt bonds burn, seen them blind, and theirs did, fierce, against his shadow. He hated it, a cousin told Houston Press. Her, being gay, called it sin, filth. I can hear him, muttering, Koran in hand, cell texts later dug up. She's shaming me, January 14, to a buddy. Brittney moved free, Kaya bought, Crystal and Zanaya her world, while James stewed, a father scorned by a daughter's shine. I've known rage like his, quiet, lethal, 'cause her trust lit a fuse he'd blow sky high. That fuse burned, March 14, James, 46, cornered in Annie's house, a ticking bomb with a hammer and .380. I've seen hate twist, felt it claw, and his did, deep, Brittney's life, coffee shifts, Crystal's laugh, mocked his control. He'd rant, Loranda said. 'Bout God, her choices, wanted her straight. I can see him, pacing, fists tight, February 28th, buying that pistol, per ABC 13's court docs, a plan snapping sharp. Crystal's spark, Zanaya's mom, bold, doubled his spite, a second light to snuff. I've tracked motives that sear, and this one blazed, homophobia, power, a father's shame torched into sinister, rules word for it. I've walked where darkness roots, felt it choke, and James's did, March 6th locked in. He'd watch 'em, a neighbor told the Galveston County Daily News. Like prey, planned it cold. I can hear that night, Brittney's leave us, Crystal's lunge, his hammer swinging, gun barking, trust a rope he'd hung them with. 9 blows for Brittney, her skull his rage's canvas, 1 shot for Crystal, her heart his kill shot. He couldn't stand her free, prosecutors'd say, jealousy, judgment, a daughter's light he'd killed to dim. I feel that stab, rule's ache of betrayal, 'cause this wasn't just murder, it was hate's own blood. That hate ran deep, James's past a stain, his present a blade, Brittney's trust the spark he'd snuff. I've seen whys like this, felt them twist, and his cut cruel, a father's love warped to ruin, 2 lives crushed for shining wrong. I can hear Loranda, he hated her soul. As Zanaya, 5, lost her anchors, his shadow stretching back decades. Depraved, the state'd call it, rules echo ringing, 9 blows, 1 bullet, a trap he'd set cold. Dig in, 'cause this trust didn't just break, it bled to the end. His hate wrote their end, and the scales were next. Courtrooms don't heal, they judge, cold and sharp, weighing lives lost against lies told. July 11th, 2016, 1 did. James Larry Cosby, 48, facing capital murder for snuffing Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson. 24, 2 years back, in a Houston night gone bloody. I've sat where justice bites, felt its steel, and this one gnashed hard, a father's hate on trial for 9 hammer blows and 1 gunshot that broke trust forever. Brittney's light, Crystal's spark, dumped by a dumpster, demanded he pay, life without parole the stake. This is rule's turf, where love's ruin meets a gavel's fall. Brace yourself, 'cause this one cuts deep. Picture Harris County Courthouse, 9:03 a.m., Houston heat pressing glass, jurors filing in, faces tight. James sat, orange jumpsuit, lean, eyes flat, Loranda front row, hands wrung, Zanaya, 7, beside her, silent. I can see the state, ADA Kim Og, 50s, voice like gravel, standing. James Cosby killed him cold, his daughter, her lover, hammer and gun his tools. I've heard Rule's openings sting, and Og's did, flashing pics. Brittney's skull caved, Crystal's chest ripped, sand red at Port Bolivar. Depraved, she spat. Planned it, dumped it, trust his weapon. I feel that weight, 2 lights snuffed, landing raw on 12 jurors' stares. I hear Og's case roll, iron, brutal. March 6th, 2014, he snapped, waving Kia keys, blood traces glaring. 9:15 p.m., hammer swung 9 times, then .380 fired, 1 shot, she pressed, per KHO, cell pings locking James at Bolivar, 11:27 p.m. I've seen juries flinch, and some did, tire tracks, shutter splinters, his, I stayed home crumbling fast. Hated her gay life, Og thundered. Control lost, he killed. I can see Loranda, nodding, tears hot, Zanaya gripping her, Crystal's absence a ghost. I felt Rule's truth sear, and this burned, James's hate, Brittney's trust, a father's sinister end. Then the defense, Paul Looney, 40s, smooth, desperate, stood for James. I've watched Rule spin pleas, felt them strain, and this stretched thin. He didn't swing, Looney urged. Anger, sure, but not murder. Someone else dumped him. I can hear him, voice steady. No DNA on that hammer, no prints on the gun. I've seen lies bend, and this wobbled. Kia blood, cell pings. His Koran circled at sin glaring back. 2nd degree, he begged. Not capital. Give him a chance. I feel that plea, hollow, Og, countering. 9 blows say intent. Rule's echo of depravity drowning him out. I've sat where stories clash, felt the air twist, and this one knotted tight. Og called Loranda. He hated her love, she sobbed, per ABC 13. Killed my Brit, my Crystal too. I can see jurors, leaning, some wet-eyed, as Ivan testified, lost my girl to his rage, voice breaking. James took the stand, 5:13 p.m. I didn't do it, flat. Someone framed me. I've heard Rule catch liars, and Og pounced. Your Kia, your hate, 9 stabs don't lie. I feel her, Brittney, there. Trust a blade he'd turned. Crystals spark his target, jurors scribbling fast. Hat room pulsed, Og's depraved, slamming Looney's chance. Brittney and Crystal's ghosts the fault line. I've felt Rule's scales teeter, seen them groan, and these did, 9 blows a drumbeat, 1 shot a thunderclap no one could dodge. He's guilty, Og closed. Steel. Life without parole, nothing less. Looney countered soft. He's a father, not a monster. Spare him. I can see Loranda, breath held, Zanaya's hand tight. 2 years of pain riding 12 votes. I've known Rule's justice ache, and this did. Trust ruin on trial. A gavel poised to fall. The scales tipped, and his fate hung close. Verdicts don't erase, they etch, marking what's lost in stone. August 2nd, 2016, 1 fell, James Larry Cosby, 48, judged for smashing Brittney Cosby and Crystal Jackson's lives with a hammer and a bullet 2 years back. I've felt Rule's justice land, seen it weigh heavy, and this one crashed. A father's hate facing life without parole for 9 blows and 1 shot that snuffed trust cold. Brittney, 24, Crystal, 24, their light demanded he pay, and 12 jurors held the scales. This is where Rule's heart breaks, where love's ruin meets its end. Hold tight, 'cause this one's gonna stick. Picture Harris County Courthouse, 10:07 a.m., August heat thick, jurors shuffling in after 6 days locked in debate. James stood, orange jumpsuit, gaunt, eyes dead, Loranda front row, fists clenched, Zanaya, 7, clutching her skirt. I can see it. Ada Kim Og, jaw set, waiting. Paul Looney, pale, praying. The foreman rose, 50s, voice steady. We find the defendant, and I've felt Rule's hush choke. Then, guilty capital murder, both counts. I hear it hit, gasps, a sob. James's head dropping, Looney's hand limp. 9 blows, 1 shot, trust's blood. Life without parole locked fast. I feel that call, guilty, ring loud. Brittney and Crystal's echo slamming home in 2 hours flat. No doubt, Og told KHOU, he planned it. Hammer, gun, dump. I've seen Rule's truth burn, and it did. Kia blood, cell pings, that Quran circled at sin. Jurors unmoved, by framed. Depraved, they nodded. Pics of Brittney's skull, Crystal's chest searing their eyes. Tire tracks, shutter lies. His I didn't, crushed cold. I can see Loranda, tears spilling. For you girls. Zanaya staring, Ivan's head bowed late. I've felt justice bite, and this sank deep. A father's hate nailed shut. The room broke, 11:02 a.m., Judge Susan Brown banging. Life, no parole, capital murder, 2 souls gone. I've watched Rule's endings land, felt them shift, and this one crushed. James slumped, cuffs clinking, deputies flanking fast. My baby's gone, Loranda wailed, per ABC 13. But he's done. I can hear Zanaya whispering, Mommy? Crystal's ghost in her grip, Ivan choking. Forgive me, girl. I've seen hate's cost, felt it bleed, and this did. 9 blows for Brittney's shine, 1 shot for Crystal's spark. A father's sin sealed in bars. I feel that sting, Rule's bittersweet, 'cause guilty didn't bring him back, just buried him deep. I've stood where verdicts fall, felt families split, and this one tore. Planned, cold, jurors told Houston Press. Kia treads, blood, he's the monster. I can hear Looney, soft to Mike's. He's broken, not evil, but 9 hammer dents, 1 slug drowned him. Og, pressed. He hated her free. Rule's lens on motive, jealousy, judgment, trust's ruin, carved in sand. I see James, let out, 11:47 a.m., head low, Brittney's laugh a ghost he'd never shake. I've known Rule's justice, ache, and this did. Loranda's win, hollow, Zanaya's loss, loud, a gavel's echo over blood. That cell claimed him, James, guilty, life locked, Brittney and Crystal's blood the chain. I've felt Rule's scales settle, seen them scar, and these did. Guilty gave Loranda breath, Ivan regret, Zanaya a void, no verdict filled. I can hear Og, justice served. But Rule's truth lingered. 9 blows, 1 shot. A father's hate couldn't fade their light, just dim his own. He's gone, Loranda said. They're not. I feel that close, bittersweet, sharp, 'cause the end hit hard, but the hurt stayed raw. His fate fell, but their echo held on. Justice can cage a monster, but it can't mend what's torn. August 2nd, 2016, locked James Larry Cosby, 48, for life, no parole, for bludgeoning Brittney Cosby and shooting Crystal Jackson, 24, in a March 2014 night of hate. I've felt Rule's endings settle, seen them leave scars, and this one did, deep. 9 hammer blows, 1 bullet, a father's twisted trust, buried him in bars. But Brittney's laugh, Crystal's spark, stayed cold. This is where their echo rests, where rule's lens lingers on love lost and pain kept. Stay with me, 'cause this one's the end we chased. Picture Houston, August 2016, 3rd Ward quiet, Annie's house dim without Brittney's coffee hum, Crystal's boots. Loranda sat there, 50s, hollow, Zanaya, 7, tracing a photo of her mom, per ABC, 13. She's with Britt now. I've seen Rule's grief cut, felt its weight, and hers did. He's caged, Loranda told Cow, but my girls ain't back. I can hear her, voice raw, James gone, life without parole upheld, no appeal, yet her daughter's apron hung still. Crystal's kid grew without her fire. I feel that void, Justice's half-breath, 'cause a cell didn't warm what he'd smashed. I've walked where loss echoes, felt it cling, and this did, sharp, Ivan, Crystal's dad, at her grave. I failed her, per Houston Press, regret too late. Zanaya, 8x17, asked, why'd he hate him? No answer filling that hole. I can see James, Huntsville cell, graying, silent. 9 blows, 1 shot his chain, Brittney's trust his ruin. He loathed her light, Loranda said, and took 'em both. I've known Rule's pain stay, and this did. 2 lives snuffed, a father's hate locked. There shine a ghost he couldn't kill. That verdict held, James caged, Brittney and Crystal's blood the lock, but Rule's truth lingered. Justice doesn't sing, it sighs. I've felt endings like this, bitter, still, and this one stayed. Loranda's fight won, Zanaya's loss cut, a 3rd Ward quieter without their beat. They're free, Loranda whispered. He's not, but free didn't heal. If their trust, his hate, this end grips you, share it, subscribe. 'Cause some lights burn too bright to fade even when they're gone. Their echo dims, but the cold carries on.